Hi, today we are talking stats lingo. This is the very basics for the study known as statistics. And it's really a lot of fun to see how numbers and how groups relate to one another. Really love it, and I think you will love it too. First off, there's a lot of vocabulary involved in statistics. And you have got an advantage because you're going to know right off the bat the first word that we're going to talk about is the word mean. And I'm not talking mean like, I'm talking mean as it's used in statistics. It's another word for average. And I'm going average. And I'm going to scroll down a little. To find the average, let's remember from last lesson, we add up all of the numbers and then divide. Oh, goodness, guys. Divide by the amount of numbers we have. And you know what that is. So when I say find the mean of these numbers, you can do this because you know how to find the average. Our next piece of vocabulary is median. Now, when you've been on the freeway, you'll notice that in the middle of the freeway, there is the median. It's like this barricade that divides one part of the highway from the other part of the highway. The median is the middle number when the numbers are in order from least to greatest. So, when we think of median, it's the middle number when numbers are in order from least to greatest. You will see this sometimes when they're talking about the median income in this town is this, and it means what about the middle of what people are making. There'll be some that'll make lots more, and there'll be some that make a lot less, but this is the middle number. So it's the median, it's the middle number when the numbers are in order from least to greatest. And then we have this other word, outlier. And yep, I have to always check and make sure that I'm using it. It's a number that is far away from all the rest of the numbers. An example of this is I have kids in college that most of the students in one of these really hard chemistry classes would get, the top score would be like a 65. And then there would be this one kid that would do amazing and he would get a 99%. But most of the class got under 65. This one kid that had that crazy grade, we would call him an outlier because the bulk of the scores were much, much lower. So an outlier is a number that is far away from the rest. And then when we're talking about numbers, when we have a lot of numbers, we can talk about the range, and that is the difference between the biggest and the smallest numbers. Finally, this is a lot of vocabulary, and I'm really excited to work on the examples so that you can see what it really, kind of mess around with it. Our final word is mode. And it is the number that occurs the most often. Now, clear as mud, let's use some vocabulary. Let's use our vocabulary to find some answers, and you'll see just what we're looking for. First off, find the mean of Ian's 7-game score. So Ian has 7 games. This is important. So mean, we know this is the average. What was the average? Okay, it looks like Ian has had all these different scores. Whew, are you ready for this? We've got to add all of these things up. And I don't know, after last lesson, I'm not sure if I can trust myself. So I'm hoping you guys can help me. 80, I'm going to just give us lots of room. 80, 85, 85, 10, 90, 90, 85. And now I need to make sure that 85. Guys, my little pen is having a hard time. That is an 8. Okay, we need to make sure that we have 7 digits. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. So we need to add these up. 5, 10, 15. Don't you just love adding 5s? I carry my 1. And I'm going to count how many 8s we have because we have a lot of 8s. And that 1, 2, 3, 4. So 32 plus 1, 33, 34 plus 18. So I'm going to put this off here because, guys, 34 plus 18, because 9 plus 9 is 18. I am going to 12. It looks like 3, 4, 5, 58. So, and I've got to make sure that 500, oh wait, whoa, guys, 4 plus right here is 12, and right here is 12, so 525. And then we take, and remember our step 2 is we divide by the number of games that he has. So we say 525 divided by 7 is going to give us our average score for Ian. Whew, here we go. 52 can be divided by 7. I'm thinking 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. That's very close. We subtract. We get 3. Pull down our 5. Oh, guys, it's going to be beautiful. 35 divided by 7 is 5. So Ian's score is 75 points. I've got to make sure. I had to look at my notes. 75 points. Now, if we were to look at this, poor Ian, he's done really well, but that score of 10 just brought his whole average down. Bummer, Ian. So let's look now at solving the median of Ian's 7-game scores. Remember, the median is the middle number. So what we've got to do first is arrange the numbers from least to greatest and then find the middle number. So let's begin. Our first number is going to be, we're going to arrange them from least to greatest, 10. And our next looks like it's going to be 80. And he has 3 85s. This seems to be fairly consistent. 3 85s, and then he had 2 games where he scored 90 and 90. So we have all of these numbers arranged. Now we're going to find the median, which, remember, the median is the middle number. So let's, how many, we count our middle number. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking it looks like it's going to be here because we count 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So our middle number, the median for this, the median is 85. It is the middle score, the middle number for Ian. Now, find the range of Ian's 7-game scores. His highest scoring game was 90. His lowest scoring game was 10. And remember, we were looking back, the range is the difference between the biggest and smallest number. So What's in between? How much is it between this number? Guys. And, oh boy. And this number. And when we put between 10 and 90, we subtract, and our range, I'm going to scroll down, is 80. So our range is 80. The clue that we have here is, remember our range, it says the difference between the biggest and the smallest number. When we hear that word difference, that automatically clues us in that we've got to subtract. So to find the range, we subtract from the biggest to the lowest number in our data. Now, find the mode of even 7-game scores. Remember again that the mode is the score that occurs most. Remember when we were organizing these all up and I said, oh my goodness, Ian has scored 85 3 times. He's also scored 90 twice, but for all intents and purposes, our mode is 85. And finally, the outlier is far away from other scores. Find the outlier of Ian's score using a line plot. This is going to be sad. Poor Ian. Here we go. Here's our long line plot. We have 80, 85, 90. And far, 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 far away over here, we have 10. So, because this is so far out and it's not related to our numbers, this is our outlier. I don't know what was happening. Ian must have been having a bad day, because generally 10 is, compared to everything that he's had, 10's a fairly low score. How many times did he score 80? I'm looking at the data. It looks like he scored 1 time, so we're going to put an X for this line plot. It looks like he scored 85 3 times. And 90, it looks like he scored twice. So to do a line plot, we do these little X's. But as you can see, this is 10 is the outlier. So let's review really quick. We've learned mean, which is another way to say average, median, which is the middle number of all of our data, organized from least to greatest. The outlier is the number that's far away from all of the other numbers. The range is the difference between the lowest number and the highest number, and our mode is the number that occurs most. I am looking forward to seeing you at the practice set, because this is fun to practice. I'll see you in a sec.